All right, we have got so much to get through today. We're talking about some game-changing rumors about new lenses, a really critical service recall that you're going to want to know about, and a potential new camera that has the entire internet buzzing. But first, let's kick things off with a pretty huge question. For decades, there's been one lens that has been the absolute workhorse for most pros. You know the one. But is its time at the top about to come to an end? So let's just dive right in. There's a major rumor making the rounds that Canon might be looking to completely shake up the idea of a standard professional zoom lens. And honestly, this could change everything. For as long as anyone can remember, the 24-70mm f2.8 has been the go-to lens. It's the standard. But the word on the street is that the replacement for the current RF model might not be what any of us are expecting. The rumor is a 20-70mm f2.8. Yeah, you heard that right, trading just a little bit of that telephoto reach for a much, much wider view. And this quote right here, it really just hits the nail on the head. I mean, sure, it might only sound like 4mm, but on the wide end of a lens, that difference is absolutely massive. It completely changes what you can cram into a single frame and just opens up a ton of new creative doors. And here's where it gets really practical. For all you videographers out there, it means you can shoot in really tight spaces without having to swap out your lens. And for photographers, just imagine being in the photo pit at a concert. That extra bit of width can be the difference between a decent shot and an absolutely epic one. It's just a huge, huge boost in versatility. Okay, moving on, we've got some very important news from Nikon. And this isn't a rumor, this is the real deal. It's a significant service advisory for anyone who owns some of their most popular mirrorless cameras. So let's just shift gears for a second, because this is serious. Nikon has officially come forward and announced a manufacturing issue that affects a specific range of their cameras. So which model are we talking about? It's certain units of the Nikon Z8. Now, the good news is, Nikon has already released a tool online where you can check if your serial number is one of the affected ones. So it's really crucial for Z8 owners to go check their gear. So what's the actual problem? Well, it turns out some parts that were used in these cameras they didn't meet Nikon's quality standards. And the potential outcome here is pretty serious. It could actually cause the cameras to fail and become completely inoperable. But here's the most important part, how Nikon is handling it. And frankly, it is a masterclass in how to do customer service right. They're offering free repairs, they're covering all the shipping costs, and this is the big one, they will fix it for you even if your camera is out of warranty. That is a really solid response from Nikon. All right, enough of the serious stuff. Let's get that excitement level back up. We're shifting from recalls back to rumors, and Sony Alpha Rumors has just dropped some absolutely wild potential specs for a camera that could be a new crop sensor king. So, say hello to the rumored Sony A6900. Now listen, we might have a bit of a wait for this one. The leak suggests a release sometime after April of 2026. But if these specs are even remotely close to the real thing, this camera will be absolutely worth the wait. I mean, just look at this breakdown. We're talking about a brand new 33 megapixels stacked sensor with over 15 stops of dynamic range. It's supposedly running on a Bion's XR2 processor, which would let it shoot at 30 frames per second with the electronic shutter. These are flagship-level specs in a crop sensor body. And if you thought that was impressive, check this out. 8.5 stops of in-body image stabilization. That number is it's astonishing. It would open up so many possibilities for shooting handheld both photo and video in really low light. It's a game changer. And for all you video people, don't worry, you have not been forgotten. The rumors are pointing to some stunning video features, like 7K oversampled 4K at 60 frames per second with no crop at all, and even oversampled 4K at 120 frames per second with just a tiny crop. This thing could be the B-cam of everyone's dreams. Now, all this incredible new camera tech, these faster sensors, higher resolutions, it's all amazing. But it connects to a part of the process that we often forget about, but one that's absolutely critical: your workflow. And honestly, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? I think every professional has felt this pain. You can have the most expensive camera in the world, but if getting the files off that camera is a slow, unreliable nightmare, it just ruins your day on set. And this brings us to a super important point. Your card reader and your cables can easily become the biggest bottleneck in your entire production chain. We spend thousands on gear, but skimping on these little things can cost you so much valuable time and add a ton of stress to a shoot. This is exactly why professionals invest in quality data transfer tools. You want readers that use the latest high-speed protocols, that have dual slots so you can offload two cards at the same time, and come with high-quality, reliable cables that you know aren't going to fail on you. And this number right here just shows you what's possible. Modern standards like USB 4.0 can hit theoretical speeds of up to 40 gigabits per second. That kind of speed completely transforms your workflow on set. It turns what used to be a long coffee break into a task that takes just a couple of minutes. So, as we've seen, the industry is just pushing forward on all fronts. Lenses are getting wider and more versatile, sensors are getting faster and more powerful, and our workflow tools are finally starting to catch up. Which really just leaves us with one final thought to chew on. How is this combination of new creative tools and greater efficiency going to shape the future of how we all create?